So let's start with our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker, Sankhadeep Dhar, is from ServiceNow. He joined ServiceNow about 3.5 years ago. He is a senior staff outbound product manager for strategic portfolio management. And in the last years, we had very interesting discussions with him, especially about how to apply strategic portfolio management in the business area. So how use strategic portfolio management outside of IT and life sciences companies and manufacturing companies, etc., etc. A special thing about Sankhadeep is that before he joined ServiceNow, he has a long history of EPPM, Enterprise Project Portfolio Management, or Strategic Portfolio Management consulting and implementation experience, very much in companies like We Are One, PlanHorizon. So he worked for Odysseus, ServiceNow partner, and Rego, formerly a Clarity PPM partner. So we have a quite common history there. So yeah, with that, I would like to hand over, Sankhadeep. Thank you very much for joining us here and supporting us. And yeah, looking forward to your keynote.
Great. Thanks, Andreas. Yeah, really happy to be speaking with you and your customers today. So before we begin with the actual presentation today, I want to play a very short video. So imagine your project managers, or if you are a project manager, coming to ServiceNow, and the system already gives you a lot of insights on the work that you are responsible for. So in this case, here is a project which has a big challenge, and instead of manually going and looking for what those issues are and trying to find out ways on how those challenges can be resolved, imagine if AI could already provide you the resolution details. So in this case, it has already got a resolution plan where AI is suggesting, hey, maybe a particular task can be executed in parallel. We need to adjust some resources, and with you in the loop, say, okay, it's all good, go ahead and do so. And not just this, AI already has access to your calendar, so it knows that, hey, like there is a management report, meeting coming up, so it would already create that report for you already. So this is essentially the future that we are moving towards, and we are moving towards very, very fast. And that's what we mean by how we put AI to work to deliver business transformation with AI skills, with Now Assist, agentic workflows, and AI agents, and within the context of the strategic portfolio management. And that's a topic that we will be talking about today. So Andreas, thanks for the nice intro, so I can skip this one. The only thing which I would want to highlight is that I write frequently about all of these topics on LinkedIn. So if you want to follow along, yeah, just follow me or connect with me on LinkedIn. So just to take a step back, and I'm pretty sure many of you have already seen this end-to-end journey of how we essentially enable customers like you to deliver your strategy to your internal customers, to your employees, or it could be to external customers as well, essentially helping you to break down your strategy into goals or OKRs, helping with strategic planning roadmaps. So these are the big things which any company needs to do, and of course, bringing the enterprise architects as part of this whole plan. So we believe, and in reality and in practice as well, EA as a function does not exist on its own. It is all connected to this flow. And of course, as part of our platform, we connect all of these together, helping organizations to prioritize big things which needs to happen, and not, also ensuring that things not just flow from a strategic perspective, but things can also flow from an operational perspective as well, helping you to also create delivery roadmaps within the constraints of the time frame, within what outcomes you would have to deliver, within the constraints of your budget and your capacity, and ultimately helping you to deliver everything which you have promised, maybe to your business or to your customer, and also connecting the value back into the whole where everything got started so that you can pivot. What we have done over the last couple of months is that with the availability of our Now Assist skills, with the rapid innovation within the agentic workflows, we have built in a lot of AI capabilities so that you do not just get this end-to-end process, which are, of course, these are all interconnected, but we help you to get the more value out of this with AI built in, with what we call it as the AI-powered end-to-end process, which essentially helps you to move from a more connected end-to-end enterprise to an AI-powered end-to-end enterprise, where you work with our AI skills, with AI agents, and not just data which are in ServiceNow, but also data which are outside of ServiceNow as well. And here are a couple of examples which, as a customer, you all have access to. And we have seen many of our customers take advantage of this. But not just this, they would use the agentic workflows, which I would explain in a bit here. So agentic workflows are significantly different than how we as consultants, as industry had thought about workflows. So your traditional workflows are really deterministic, where you have to think about every possibility on how the workflows would go. But agentic workflows are significantly different. The deterministic one, because you just say, this is the business problem which we are trying to solve. And with the help of the orchestrator, the agentic workflow would work with the AI agents, which it has got access to, in order to solve that business problem. So you just give the context, you give the workflow, the AI agents, which are essentially very specialized agents to do very specialized kind of things. So imagine an AI agent which might be very specialized in creating project risks, for example, by reading and getting access to the context of your project and your organization. Or it could be an AI agent which can get data from external systems so that you get to integrate with the other systems. And of course, these AI agents have access to skills, workflows, all the informations within the tool and outside of the system as well. And we have customers like EXL that I put up on the screen, who have not just taken the capabilities or the skills which we provide out of the box, but extended this to really solve a particular business challenge, which is very important to them. So for example, for EXL, one of their big challenge was how to capture and make sure that they have the right people at the right time doing the right kind of work, which are very important to ultimately meet the customer delivery and the customer timelines. And it was completely manual. It took them a lot of time to get the whole process to work. And that is where they put AI agents to work on that particular problem. Ultimately, you can see some of the big outcomes which they were able to get out of this. So my suggestion to all of us here is that, of course, you would depend on ServiceNow to come up with AI skills and AI workflows. And we are building all of these things, almost like every day, but do not just be fully dependent on us. What I would want you to think about taking the agentic workflows, taking the platform, our skills, our data, and getting it to solve some challenges which are extremely important for you. And that's exactly the direction that we are also moving towards, where we believe, and we have already began the journey, where we think that we will be able to revolutionize this particular space with what we call it as a continuous value engine, which essentially think of this as autonomous agents, which one, it knows your enterprise, it knows the challenges, it can sense what is happening within your enterprise so that it can autonomously identify issues, problems, challenges, and also give you the solutions on how to circumvent this. So that's what we mean by this continuous value engine. So just to paint the picture on where this is really moving is with the evolution of AI agents and what we are calling it as AI teammates, we will be able to get to you from this AI powered end-to-end to more of an adaptive enterprise where you would work with your AI, specialized AI agents. We call it as AI teammates, which will be able to do the work for you with you in the loop so that you can take smarter decisions and you can deliver on that timeline. But also taking it a bit forward, it will evolve into what we call it as the continuous value engine. So the next couple of minutes, I will do a bit of a deep dive into what we mean by the continuous value engine. And I will also show you so that you have a good understanding of what that future looks like. But the good thing is that many of the things that I will show you is actually possible today. So what is this continuous value engine? So think about the end-to-end that you are all familiar with. There are a couple of very important pillars in this, right? So you have your strategic planning, prioritization, you do your delivery roadmaps, then you actually execute the work, and then you ultimately measure whatever you have delivered, whether it has actually progressed the whatever outcome you had originally planned for. With AI agents, we can actually transform each of these pillars. So what does this mean? So we can transform this whole strategic planning to more adaptive strategic planning so that you work with AI to drive insights into your strategy, which will ultimately help you to create the right strategic plan and even create the right goals and OKRs in order to measure those outcomes. It can transform the prioritization into intelligent opportunity identification. So what this means is that these are the AI agents which will autonomously look for opportunities from other workflows. It could be within ServiceNow or it can be outside of ServiceNow as well, because the reality is many of these opportunities it has a single point of failure, which is somebody would either forget to create the right business case or create it the right way. So many of these opportunities can even be completely in the dark today. And this would ultimately make sure that all of these are brought up into the right prioritization. And also transform your roadmap planning into smart portfolio and smart roadmap optimization. So think about AI agents creating these scenario plans on your portfolios so that you can achieve the right outcome by making sure that your funding, your resources are all directed towards the high priority initiatives, which actually delivers the more important business outcomes. Now, from an execution perspective, we can actually help you to put your AI agents to work so that it helps you to execute the work. So today, when you think about ServiceNow, planning capabilities, let's take an example of the project workspace. There's essentially, it's a series of tasks or in a work breakdown structure. That work breakdown structure does not actually execute and do the work for you. And we believe we can actually solve that pretty easily. And I will also show it to you how, with the help of AI agents, it can actually do the work based upon that work breakdown structure. And from a value realization perspective, we can break it down into or transform this into a more of a continuous value improvement so that AI agent would autonomously look into what you have prioritized based on what outcomes and based on how you're delivering that work, whether you are actually meeting that right value, and if not, what is that that needs to pivot. Okay, so I will show you a couple of very small demos to visually help you to understand, what does this mean? And in order to do that, I have a couple of use cases. I will not show you all the use cases, but a few to show what is actually even possible today with the kind of technology which is really available at our fingertips today. So the first one I'm going to show you is on how AI can help you to generate these strategic insights. So I'm pretty sure this particular screen is familiar to all of you. This is the strategic planning workspace where your transformation office, your strategic leaders, they will put in or use this in order to manage some big blocks of work which needs to happen. And the reality is they would optimize these strategic plans, these portfolio plans in, it can be used in meetings, in workshops where they would put together all of these plans and they would do a lot of road mapping and everything else in a PowerPoint slide. So imagine AI agents reading those PowerPoint slides to analyze what is that you have presented, what was agreed upon. And based upon this analysis, it would identify a couple of recommended actions, like things which might have been, which would not be in the system otherwise. And based on those recommended actions, you can then ask the AI agents to do the work on your behalf. So this is, again, something which is actually possible today. So our team had built this in AI Studio. So just FYI, this is not part of the product, but this is something which has been built on the AI Studio with the strategic portfolio management agents. So this is something which you would see behind the scene. This is not something an end user would see, but just to demonstrate. So you have a portfolio plan. You have uploaded a PowerPoint slide, and the AI agent in this case would autonomously start. And in this case, you will see all of these actions being autonomously taken. This is orchestrated by the AI orchestrator. And in this case, it provides you an executive summary saying that, hey, like it's experiencing some revenue shortfalls. The competitors are getting ahead, and based on all of these and based upon the data which is within that portfolio, it has already identified a few actions saying you need to prioritize a couple of initiatives. You need to accelerate a particular initiative, and you need to update some targets in order to actually take action on this. So it's really that human in the loop, or the AI agents and the human working together to coming up with these AI-driven insights. And these are not just insights. Here, you actually said, hey, like all of this looks good, so go ahead and update this data for me. So you do not have to go back to ServiceNow and update all of these manually. These are all taken care of by the AI agent itself. And here you would see it has updated the plan. And if I go into the goals and targets, I come over here and see, hey, like it has already created a couple of key results and updated some of these things. Okay. So this is, again, just a simple possibility of how you can use the technology which you have access to today in order to generate these insights. And these are really strategic insights, and also act on those strategic insights as well. So let's go back to our use case slide. So the next one, very interesting one, is the intelligent opportunity identification. So like I explained, right? So ServiceNow has a lot of data already, and you may already have a lot of data within the platform. So for example, maybe you are already using IT service management or SecOps or risk. Within those workflows, a lot of opportunities do get discovered. Maybe, for example, as part of a problem, maybe you've identified that, hey, like there is a certain pattern, and in order to resolve certain things structurally, you need to maybe update a particular part of your technology or move your technology into a completely new platform. Or it can even come from a security perspective, that in order to resolve a particular vulnerability, that you may have to do some work. So again, like I explained, this whole bottleneck could come in that maybe somebody just did not even create these business cases. So the idea here is that an AI agent which would autonomously keep track or identify these opportunities on your behalf. And once it has identified these opportunities, it will bring these opportunities to you. And then you would work with the AI agents in order to prioritize or deprioritize some of these stuff, right? So again, very simple. Couple of AI agents which identifies these opportunity candidates. So these are the ones which actually goes in and looks into all of this data. And the second AI agent, which would create these identified opportunities as a demand record upon your approval in the system. So scrolling a bit ahead. So here I've got a notification that, hey, like something has been identified. So it says, okay, it has identified 3 opportunities from vulnerabilities, 3 from incidents. So now you may want to go ahead and have a bit more details on what these are. So once you expand this, you will see that, hey, like you get all of these details, and more important, it also tells you what the priority or criticality of each of these opportunities really are. And so with you in the loop, because you really understand the context, right? So you can say, hey, I'm really interested in the critical ones, so let's use that as the filtered criteria. And based on this, it gives you that. And you can say, okay, it's all good. Now go ahead and create all of these demands. So once it has been created, you can click on this link. And if you scroll down, you can see all of these new opportunities which has been identified. Okay. So imagine this. This would dramatically ensure that all of these critical things which are really important, which otherwise might have been missed, you actually surface this properly so that you can take actions on all of this. So the last thing which I want to show, and because of the time constraint, I won't be able to show everything, is the agentic project management. And this is, I believe, is the way to revolutionize on how people think about project management. So I would love to hear your view, and if there are comments, questions, please feel free to drop it. So the idea behind this is very simple. The way you would assign a real person to a project task, you would also assign AI agents to a project task. So for example, with specialized AI agents to develop maybe a project charter or create project risk, or even automatically go ahead and deploy an environment behind the scene. So again, the workflow is very simple. You basically say, okay, when the project starts, identify where all of these AI agents/teammates has been created. And for example, these are the specialized AI agents. So there is an AI agent which just is very specialized in identifying and creating project risks. Another agent which would create a project charter or a business case. So moving a bit forward ahead. So here is an AI agent where it got started to create the project charter. And again, this is not something which you are starting off manually. These are all automatically kicked off based upon the project schedule itself. So here you can see the project charter has been developed. The task has been set to complete. And within the docs component itself, the project charter has been created. So this is, again, the project just does not become or remains a work breakdown structure where somebody has to come and manually update it. No, the schedule itself can actually drive stuff to really be executed. So this is, again, a completely different way of looking into the project management in the age of AI. So this is what I will leave with today. So think of strategic portfolio management not just as a way to prioritize and fund and manage your projects. This is more beyond that, and this is what the future really holds for you. And to be honest, the future is not really that far away because the speed of innovation within AI is very, very fast. So it helps you to move away from your normal strategic planning to an adaptive strategic planning, helping you to autonomously identify opportunities, and then helping you to also autonomously, with, of course, you in the loop, to create the right portfolio plans with the scenario plans, and also helping you to execute the work, and then ultimately helping you to identify whether you have actually delivered that value or not. So this is just a snapshot of what we believe the future is going to be, what is possible today with the technology which is already available on the platform. So with that, I give it back to my friends, give it back to our friends at PlanHorizon.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sankhadeep. Fantastic presentation. It confirmed my feeling that from all the modules ServiceNow has, probably strategic portfolio management is one where the rewards of using AI are the biggest. No? SPM is a big number crunching machine. There's ideas, demands, there's OKRs or goals and targets. There's money. There are people who have to do the work. So yeah, quite amazing what the future will hold for us. I especially like your little demos, and from the demos, especially the agentic project execution. Just over lunch, I discussed with my colleague Thomas. He told me that we have in some project we have to do from a different legacy tool. We have to do a complex migration script to get these old data to rearrange it and get it into strategic portfolio management. And he used AI to do that. And it took him like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And that is something which normally one of our best technical guys would need 2 days. Yeah, so
That's amazing, Andreas.
yeah,
That's a
that is
really
yeah. I
very
also
promising ROI. Yeah.
it is, and I also think that especially as this whole environment, especially in large organizations, is so complex, and
Yeah.
resource management especially, and doing the right things with the right people, etc., that humans are they have difficulties actually looking at all these things, and then I can be of assistance. I hope that there will still be project managers and portfolio managers in the future. I think there will be, but yeah, quite amazing. Thanks for this fantastic
Yeah.
presentation.
Thanks for the opportunity,
Yeah,
Andreas.
we do have a couple of questions here. Let's see if there are more questions. Yeah, we do have a couple of questions here. The first one being, from your perspective, what is the first practical step an organization should take to move from the traditional SPM to the AI SPM or agentic AI SPM? What is a practical way to get there?
Yeah. Very simple answer, to be honest. Again, going back to the EXL customer example that we saw, don't think AI first. Think about the business challenge, which is really impacting your business, your people today, and think about if AI can solve it. And if AI can solve it and solve it in the right way, that is the most practical way of moving it into an AI-driven or an agentic SPM. And that's why, putting your users first, putting the business outcome first, that way of thinking still remains the same. AI essentially becomes the tool in order to move into this agentic world. So it will essentially also help you to get a lot of executive buy-ins, so that because they would ask why you should do it, and also get a lot of buy-ins from the end user because you are solving a big challenge for them.
Okay, thank you very much. Another question. Many organizations struggle with data quality. How do AI agents remain effective when portfolio data, project data, or capacity data is incomplete or inconsistent? I think many organizations feel that pain. Will the AI do stupid stuff when we have data quality problems?
I think that's a very it's a very foundational question, and what I usually recommend customers to think about is you can get hung up on the data quality because updating the data quality can be a big task. So think about putting AI to work so that it improves the data quality in the first place. So, for example, assisting people to enter the right level of details within a description or a business case, or helping them to identify project risk. If you apply AI in those kind of use cases, it inherently improves data quality, and the result which you'll get out of AI improves significantly that way.
Okay, great. Let's see if there are more questions here. Yeah, there is another question. Just a second. The presentation was fantastic. As I understand, using AI agentic workflows in our Assist for Strategic Portfolio Management is already available. if a customer is already using Now Assist and mature enough to change the way of working, what licensing implications are there, and what is the total cost of ownership of using that?
Yeah, maybe we can take those questions offline. We can have a one-to-one conversation, or maybe
I
Andreas,
will
you can
note
also
that,
help
and we
them.
can have I will let you know about the participant, and you can take that offline. And yeah, good idea. Yeah. Okay,
Yep.
Sankhadeep, I know
All
you
right.
have time constraints, so you won't be able to join us in the panel
No,
discussion.
my sincere apologies for that, Andreas. But yeah, thanks
I
for the
understand.
opportunities today. Yeah.
Do we see you next week in the World Forum in Amsterdam?
Yes, we
Okay.
will see each other next
Let's
week.
have a beer. Thank you very
Thanks.
much for the
Absolutely. Have a good one.
fantastic
Bye
presentation.
bye.